Do you want to do some kind of like breaking news?
I mean,
Um,
do I want you to make that noise or can I put that in? The answer is yes either way, but
I was wondering if you could put that in because
yeah.
I don't know how good me going will sound for the beginning. This was just in with broken news. I'm Josh,
And I'm Charles.
and I did this in one take.
Yeah, totally. There was no prep. That was like off the cuff. He killed it.
So the idea of this is we are going to talk about news that happened previously, because we both watched some things that we wanted to talk about, and we're going to try to monetize it.
Yeah, pretty much. We're like, well, we have opinions and they're generally good and thorough and things do be happening, so
And if you're clicking on this because of the amazing clickbait title about how Detective Pikachu is on the case to find out why Rush Limbaugh died, they did not mention that in the Nintendo Direct, nor did they mention really anything from a franchise that you know and love. There's going to be a new Mario Golf. Fun, fun. Um, they're re-releasing Skyward Sword.
oh,
Everyone's
everyone's
favorite.
favorite now.
Everyone's favorite.
You know, that game gets a lot of shit, and like I think rightfully, but I like there was a period in my life where I routinely played Zelda games despite the fact that I'm just hot ass at puzzle games, and that was the only one I've ever beaten because it's easy.
Well, apparently they fixed the like you can do it on handheld, and
Oh, interesting.
you yeah one of the joysticks is the direction, so you'd like push
Mhm.
down and it would attack down, and I think that's better.
Well, it sounds, Josh. The last time I played Skyward Sword was on the Wii. Like I need to make that clear. So like it's been a little bit. I don't really remember the controls, if I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm sure
the
that's
the thing was you had the Wii remote and a nunchuck, and you would
yeah,
swing
that's
it
how the Wii
around.
was. Oh, it
Yeah,
was motion controls. That's
it
right.
was motion controls.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a bad idea.
it was terrible because everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you get to like actually do it," and then they did it, and we're like, "We're good. We're actually
Yeah,
okay." And they
because I feel
so
like
they
that doesn't leave room for a lot of like skill. That you're
so
just flailing.
I need to stress what the Nintendo Direct was. It
Yeah, that's the
was
first thing written into, I guess, is a Nintendo Direct because you just went right into it.
yeah, it was 55 minutes of uh, JRPGs. It was
Oh,
boy is Japan making some RPGs. Boy are they. We've got we're solving ghost murders. We're
that
solving
sounds
normal
fun.
murders. We've got turn-based combat and more turn-based combat, and then a couple more turn-based combat games. And then we have one where it's not turn-based, but it's a real cool guy, and he's got to fight demons, but he's too cool for it. And then we've got about we have the a game that looks like they spent $4 on. It's what if the DC superheroes went to middle school and they
Are
have
you
to
kidding me? Like, is it
I'm not
actually DC branded?
it's DC. It starts with I'm Barbara Gordon, also known as Batgirl.
Oh, that's bad. Wow.
And they literally at one point go, you could in between fighting crime, there's still plenty of time for shopping. And I'm like, what
The
the
things that women
fuck?
like.
The
Shopping.
I think there's a social media like mini game that you can play, and it's
That's
just
dark side.
it was really bad, man. Because like when it first showed up, I'm like, oh, this is cute. Like it's little like I would have wanted to play that as a kid because I loved anything with a superhero on it. And then they were like, but even the boys aren't allowed. And I'm like,
But to
what
say
the
it's
fuck
like
is happening?
fun to market towards. It's good to market towards younger people and even younger women, but like I don't know. First of all, if you advertise going shopping to me in the pandemic, I'm gonna rip your throat out because I miss going places.
Maybe that's what the plan was. They were like, do you miss going shopping? We all do. So you can do it in this Batgirl game.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Never mind, it's good marketing.
You know what sucks? Like the quote unquote like boy version. Boy, am I putting some heavy quotes on that? Would just be a
Ooh, that's
game.
rough. Yeah,
It would just be a game. So just
like you
fucking
can
make
just
a
make the same game with the woman characters.
yeah. Just make that game. Just take away the whole. And I think it's literally called like super heroes teens high school. Like it's got all of the words that like
Buzzwords.
Yeah.
The things that girls like, buzzwords.
Oh, and would you like to guess what game franchise Nintendo said, this is what we're ending this direct on? You've watched for an hour through hot garbage. This is the franchise.
I'm gonna guess just based on what I saw trend. Was it Smash?
Splatoon!
Oh, people like Splatoon though. Splatoon's like niche, but people who are into it really love it. So I guess it's not a terrible pick.
They
It
showed
is
us,
niche though.
they showed, I fuck you not, 2 minutes of someone making a character. Of the
They get
the Splatoon character, and they were
I'm
just
not gonna lie,
going
they
through.
get it.
Oh, I actually do want to say they did like their Mario stuff is coming to Animal Crossing. I thought that was neat. It's free.
I like wish I had played Animal Crossing. I get very overwhelmed with choice, and
Yes.
the whole point of the new Animal Crossing game was you can do every single thing you've ever wanted to do, and I couldn't handle it and just never did anything. And I was like, well, everything looks like shit because I'm not doing anything because I
would lose my mind.
Like I couldn't do it, so I played for like 2 or 3 months and just never touched it again.
Yeah, if I need my handheld, like a lot of people like games hold your hand too much. I'm like, no, I want the game to like hold me through this experience.
Yeah, it's like just the fact that you can like go tool around and get exactly what villagers you want and shit. Like I know that's what people wanted, and it's like this is a me problem, not a problem with the game. It's too much. I don't like that much the ability to perfect everything. It stresses me out.
There was a beautiful moment there where all of society had come together and was playing Animal Crossing, and I was like a month in, I was like, should I get Animal Crossing? And then the next day, no one talked about it, so I was like, okay, no. But like, yeah, so like as Nintendo Directs go, I was a little disappointed because I was hoping for any Fire Emblem news whatsoever. Just
you
any
always
whatsoever.
are, and there never is.
Or anything Pokemon, because like, and just any mention of anything. But I guess last year was a pretty big year for Pokemon with the DLC and all that good stuff.
You know,
But really,
I know
blasted
that's
through
off
it.
brand for me.
I know it's good too. It's better than the main game.
Because like everyone was like, it's really fun. I just kind of like forgot it came out, and by the time I remembered that it was out, I was like, I don't know. I work, and now I'm here. I'm in school.
Yeah,
and like I know that'll just be what I do. Period. And like when I have to be so self-sufficient now because I don't have any fucking real classes.
Yeah,
I can't have a Pokemon game. It's like, or you could do this for 7 hours.
That's literally the same reason I will never play Breath of the Wild, is because I'm like, I will get sucked in.
Touched it. I bought it as soon as it came out, played for an hour and a half, and was like, wow, I can't do this. Again, I can't have anything that's that open-ended.
The people I was watching on, because I watched a Twitch stream of the Direct, because I didn't want to just watch the Direct, and the people were hoping for any news about the Breath of the Wild sequel. Oh, I guess for our, like, the clickbait title, we can do Breath of the Wild 2 confirmed, question mark. Because
this
they
is
were
a
like,
gaming podcast, man. I don't want to be a loser.
we gotta get those clicks. They were like, Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. We have no new news. All right, bye. Here's Skyward Sword.
It's coming. See ya.
They were like, oh, there's leak. Skyward Sword. Fuck me. I just want to say, all I was hoping for was some re-releases from Fire Emblem games or re-releases of Pokemon games. Like, just port them over. That's all I want.
I cannot, and I know it's next, which is I think the part that sucks, is like, Diamond was my game. That was like the first one that I was like really into because it just came out at the right time and we were like 9. When they remake that, that's going to be my life for about a month and a half.
Oh, same. Every Pokemon game that comes out, like, it takes over my life for a little while.
That one's going to be especially, though. Like, that one's going to be the one where, like, I'm playing it, and every 3 seconds I'm like, I remember that. I feel joy again.
Okay, so what other news is broken? I feel like we should just say Rush Limbaugh died, and good, and that's all.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Happy Ash Wednesday, everyone. Rush Limbaugh passed away.
For Lent, he gave
Aquarius season strikes again, baby. She don't miss.
Got his ass.
Oh, yeah, good for him dying. I do want to, oh my god, hang on. I didn't put this tweet in my document because this wasn't something I remember we were going to talk about. There was a clip of him, or not a clip, it was a transcript of something I guess he said in a radio show. I didn't fact check this, but I'm going to assume it was right because it seems like something he would say.
Yeah.
In which he stated that smoking is actually not dangerous. It is not bad for your health. That is a lie pushed on you so the government can put more taxes on tobacco products. And he died from fucking lung cancer. Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Anyone, just real quick, anyone who says like, oh, why are you guys making fun of a dead dude? He literally openly mocked gay people for dying from AIDS.
Yeah.
So I hope right now that, like, I don't believe in a hell, but if there is one, he's burning in it.
Burning with Reagan, yeah.
Anyway, catch our live stream where we take a shit on his open casket.
That's correct. Yes, sir. God, yeah, that was great news to wake up to.
Oh, it was wonderful. It also, I felt like everyone got an instant alert. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he died and everyone was like, I was sitting on a couch and like every phone went off in my house.
It's funny because my dad, who is not a particularly left guy, called me and was like, so your favorite guy died? And I was like, Twitter's so funny right now. My dad even laughed at that and he was like, yeah, that guy was a lot.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
So you have some Britney news.
God, are we gonna do Britney? Or I watched the Britney Spears documentary last night,
Mhm.
and it destroyed me emotionally, just because like that was a thing that happened in our lifetimes that I think we kind of saw peripherally, but we were too
so
young
young.
to really exactly. This was like 2003 through 8, so we were the ages of 4 to 9 at that point. Like, we don't remember this, but like I kind of remember it out of the corner of my eye, not being a thing I paid attention to because I was a child, but just that I knew was there.
I think mostly we
God.
remember the jokes about it that just existed
Yes.
for like a decade after all of it happened.
Yeah, like I remember like Britney Spears shaved her head jokes. Like
Yeah.
that was like a huge thing. That documentary was very good. And I was like, it's a New York Times documentary, so I went in like I think rightfully slightly skeptical. Like
Yeah.
I like knew I was gonna get good things out of it. It was like, how is this gonna do? It did really well, I think. The first half of it is like, how did we get to like the breakdown kind of point? And then the second half is like the conservatorship thing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know from Twitter that basically there's two kinds of conservatorships, and her father actually he doesn't have any more, but he had both kinds. There's conservatorship of the estate, which means he owns all of her like property, he owns all of her money, he is in charge of her finances, and there's conservatorship of the person, which means that he controls your medical decisions, your like personal things to that nature. And like the way the lady who was an expert on this in the documentary described it is like, that's for when your elderly grandmother isn't competent to brush her teeth in the morning, so like you can do that for her and she can't call the police on you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think one of the things it said that was a new take and perspective on a thing that I thought I had figured out, in the beginning of Britney's career, she was like 15, 16, 17 years old, and was sexy, I guess, like
sexualized.
Yes, and I think we've all been like, even in woke circles, to say, like, told that was a thing that was pushed on her by agencies and stuff, and they did make it like, well, it made me feel better, and like it also kind of lightens things later. That was also somewhat her idea, and she was like, no, I'm a teenager and I like to feel good and hot, and like it's just don't be fucking weird about it. Let me be a teenager and wear a belly shirt on TV, and don't ask me about my virginity because I'm still 16. As a 16-year-old girl, you'd like to feel attractive, but that doesn't mean 40-year-old men should get to be weird about it. So it did a job of, I think, showing in the beginning of this that she had like agency and wasn't a puppet and like wasn't a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Wasn't blonde Mississippi dumbass. So, and by showing that she had that agency, it makes it really fucking strange that all of a sudden, I think I'm going to be in charge of her whole life through a process that is generally reserved for the elderly. And because it's reserved for elderly people who are losing their minds, never gets undone. It's a permanent thing generally because there's no need to overthrow it. Your grandmother's going to die before she gets better because that's the whole thing.
Usually at that circumstance, there is no, well, we'll see how she's doing later.
And it's wild, like the setting her up for how she really didn't need it. That was the part I was most excited to see, like, okay, did she need this or not kind of thing?
Yeah.
She's competent to not only call her own lawyer about it and go to him and be like, what he said to her basically was, I understand what this is. I'm going to agree to do it because someone told me I can get visitation rights for my kids back if I do this, and that did end up happening. So I'm just going to do this so I can see my kids. My only stipulation that she gave to this lawyer, please do not let my dad be in charge of my finances. I want it to be a third party, like a bank or something, because I do not trust him to do this. She was competent to have all of that to say. The lawyer that she hired goes to the judge. The judge says, in this envelope in my hand, I have documents that prove that she is not competent to even hire her own lawyer. I'm dismissing you. I'm assigning her a lawyer, and she's not going to get that.
Oh my God.
So bad. It was so bad.
That's like apocalyptic. Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
She was competent enough to know what it meant, to agree to it just so she could see her kids, and to be like, yeah, I get it. Please don't make my dad in charge of it because he kind of sucks. And they did from the beginning of this. When she blew up and had to go to New York, her parents didn't go with her. They had to hire a chaperone who is the best. Felicia in this movie is the best character in this movie. It's her chaperone that went with her to New York in the beginning.
Yeah.
Her dad didn't go. Her dad was never there. Her mom showed up eventually and like helped her and was like stage mommy.
Yeah.
Her dad, like anyone who was involved with her agents, her managers and shit were like, we never saw that man until he showed up to take her money.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And they just
go ahead.
gave him all of that money. They just
he's
gave him
in
all
charge
of
of
that
all of her
power.
money. Mm-hmm.
And still is, right?
Yeah, he's still in charge of the money. He is no longer in charge of her person.
Which is, at least there's that win, but my God.
Yeah, and one thing I was like slightly concerned about was like, okay, so the whole issue that led to her losing her fucking mind rightfully and having a mental breakdown was that people wouldn't leave her alone, and like everyone was in her personal life. So like, are we doing that again if she hasn't said anything about how this is good? And that kind of goes, it does a good job of looking at that and going, not really, because you can see in court documents now that she's like, yeah, sure, I'm glad people are finally fucking sticking up for me, and I sure do want to be out of this. And her brother goes on a podcast and says, oh yeah, Britney says all the time that she wants to not have this fucking conservatorship anymore. She's confident enough to say, this is bad and sucks, you guys.
So is it just like her dad and like the court process that's holding this up?
It's her dad. So initially it was her dad and a lawyer guy who had it. The lawyer guy recently dropped that whole thing. So yeah, it's the process, I guess, of is she competent to manage her own money again, which she never really wasn't in the first place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, it just feels like this should get fixed super easily, but it also feels like one of those things that just won't, you know what I mean?
Yes, it's like it'll either get fixed in the next 3 months or it will go away entirely. We'll never talk about it again.
Oh yeah, if this doesn't go away like this year, I don't think this will ever end until the dude like fucking drops dead.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I do think one of the cool things they did was they interviewed the paparazzi guy. I don't know if you remember this. I didn't until I saw it, and I was like, oh fuck, that's right, that happened. Where he was following her when she was going to Kevin Federline's house to try and see her kids, and he was like, fucking no, you can't see the kids. So she went to a gas station to like call somebody, and the guy's trying to take pictures of her at the gas station, and she gets out of her car with an umbrella and beats the fuck out of his truck.
Yeah,
that guy. And it was an interesting setup where like this movie exists perfectly, I think, at the intersection of like misogyny and capitalism, and that he's like, yeah, it's like what we were doing, I guess, was fucked up, and I guess it's what made her like all this happen, which it totally was. And he's not like a sympathetic figure, but you do kind of understand. He goes, you could sell pictures of her for $1 million. You could take a picture of her and be set for the rest of your life. You could send your kids through college. So it's like, it's a fucked up thing, but I mean, if Britney Spears is down the street and I've got a camera, I don't have to work for the rest of my life.
Jeez. And a lot of that goes into like, this is a fucking society problem. Like, yeah, everyone like was to blame. There were a lot of writers that came out recently and were like, you know, we can't help that we wrote that stuff. It's just because everyone liked it. No, fuck off. I came out of this
movie hating every late night show host that like existed from 1999 to 2010. All of you go for yourselves.
I cannot imagine that's a good. I mean, all of them already fucking suck. Like David Letterman, with John Cena. What's the dude's name?
Jalen.
Jay Leno, yeah.
Bad. He's super bad.
Yeah, he sucks.
What fucking, you know the Britney meme where she's like, yeah, and she's crying?
Yeah.
I can't use that ever again. I found out the context for that. It sucks. They're like, it's a normal interview, right? And she's like, giggly happy pop star.
Yeah.
And he asked her, what do you think it's going to take to get the paparazzi to stop following you? And she like starts crying. She's like, I don't know. And she's like crying. She's like fucking bawling now. And he goes, is that what you want more than anything is for them to stop? And that's where the Britney meme comes from. And it's like, oh my God.
That's like if we found out the crying Michael Jordan thing happened because he just learned about the Holocaust. Like, it would be terrible. He's like, Germany did what?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking
like when they
God.
started the clip, I was like, oh my God, I know this set. That's the Britney meme.
Oh man, how did that became a meme? Oh my God, cultures.
It's one of those things. It's just like we don't care about celebrity pain, which I think is fine to an extent. Like this isn't like you should stop making fun of Chrissy Teigen when she posts blatantly stupid shit on Twitter. Like that's different than like don't park outside of her house after bad things happen to her and try to take pictures of her.
I think Chrissy Teigen's an interesting example because like she had the miscarriage.
Yeah.
And like this would be the equivalent of like people going outside her house and like question and like
literally
bugging her constantly about it.
And if it had been 15 years ago, and this is Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, any of the above girls of that time who we like to harass, that would have happened. If this had happened, that would have been how it was. And they would have been like, what do you think? And she's like, I'm going to fucking snap and kill you. Like,
yeah.
She did everything she did.
And I think, like, it's very easy for us to be like, man, I'm so happy we're better. We're barely better. Now we just do it to, like, some women, not all women. And, like, that's...
Like, it's just not as mainstream as it is, but, like, we wouldn't see that on a cover of, like, an important magazine anymore, but we would say it to each other, like, looking at it.
Oh, yeah. And, there is still... This stuff is all moved online, too. Like, you don't see this in a magazine... I mean, I guess you do still see it on magazines because I work right in front of where we sell the magazines, and they'll be like, Matthew McConaughey said what to his penis? And it's
but it's not as like, I guess, widespread as it used to be, where everyone was like, oh my God, we have to talk about how like celebrities are losing their minds.
Yeah, it's not. I think the Kardashians were kind of like the end of that.
Yeah, God, Kardashian. I forgot to bring this up earlier. After, and I mean immediately after, so she has a public breakdown because no one believed her alone. Her dad takes control of her finances. Her dad cuts a deal with MTV to set up a Keeping Up with the Kardashians style like documentary series where there's people with cameras in their house all the time. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
So this dude's not just evil, he's cartoonishly evil.
He's terrible. Because I think like the paparazzi guy, you don't like him, but you kind of get it. Kevin, you don't like him, but you kind of get it. Like, there are people that like have understandable takes and opinions and who are like well-rounded bad people, I guess.
Yeah.
The only people you come out of this movie like despising are Jamie Spears and Justin fucking Timberlake.
Fuck Justin Timberlake, man.
God, the editor of this movie deserves an Emmy though, because she says something along the lines of, you have to keep control of your life in order to cut out unnecessary people, and it immediately cuts to the two of them at the VMAs. That's the first time you see him in the film.
He is, like, famously just, like, around the edge of controversy and media being terrible to women and either doing a nothing or assisting in that.
Yeah, and then you see her on talk shows and you're like, did you cheat on Justin Timberlake? And she's like, huh? I was like, did you have sex with Justin Timberlake? And she's like, please don't ask me these things. I'm 19, 20 years old.
Meanwhile, he's on SNL and he's like, oh, we totally fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool guy. Cool, chill dude.
I didn't know Cry Me a River was about her. That was upsetting to learn.
Yeah, a woman going through, like, an emotional breakdown because society has just decided that she's the villain for the next 10 years. And he's like, oh, we've been sad.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she made me sad. She might have cheated on me. There's no confirmed reports of that. And she said repeatedly that she wanted to wait until marriage and have a nice family. But I'm sure she was just fucking around all the time on you, Justin.
On the bright side, though, she is still the fastest human on Earth. So we still have that going for her. Unbeaten record.
Oh, good for her. Usain has nothing on Britney Spears.
Nothing. I am sorry for anyone who's a huge fan of the Bolt, but nothing.
Not Britney's got him.
No.
Just hair. Oh, yes. That was a time. It was very good. It's very upsetting. I think it ends well in that, like, hopefully in the next 2 months I'll be able to say, hey, she's not in that anymore because they made this big movie about her and everyone cares now. But, yeah. Oh.
It is good to get eyes on it. I've been told to watch the documentary by a lot of people, so I think that's probably what I'll do right when we're done here, because it just looks good.
Too, so, like, it's like less than an hour and a half.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you want me to move on to our sport news?
Oh, do you want to do all sport news at once? Yeah. Your baseball goo that you've been dying to tell me about?
Yeah, so they got goo out in the MLB. This does a little bit of explanation. So there was an Angels, like the guy who takes care of like the equipment manager. So he was making goo that he would give to pitchers that would give them better grip on the ball, and the idea was that it would help them increase their spin rate. Because that's the big new stat, like how many times you can make that baseball spin when you're throwing it, not just like on your finger. That'd be really impressive,
no. It's not like a basketball.
Speaking of which, I would love a Harlem Globetrotters version of baseball. I don't know what that would look like, but I want to see it.
I think it's just you put a pitching machine out there, kid.
It's just whatever the Marlins play.
It's a Dodgers Marlins game.
When the O's go to the Yankee Stadium.
Oh my god, they do that like 10 times a year. What are you doing that? Did you see? I'll let you go back to your goo. The chart that was dropped about like postseason odds, and even the Rangers had 0.8, and they just didn't round up for the Orioles, so they had 0% odds.
It's statistically impossible. Speaking of which, my favorite Onion article of the year is Orioles owner a little upset because these baseball players look a little too ready to play.
Oh, the Orioles. We're like close enough to them to be able to really tear into them.
Oh my god, yeah. My dad hates their ownership because they're just terrible. Pretty stadium though.
Gorgeous. Love it there. Love to be there. Love to watch them play the Red Sox. It's the only games the fucking Red Sox will win this year.
So I got the dude's name, and it's Brian
Goo-man,
Harkins. Yeah,
okay.
Goo-man. I'm just gonna call him Goo-man. So Goo Guy was apparently the MLB cracked down on it because they were like, "Hey, you're giving goo to like every pitcher who's ever been in Cy Young talks, like from fucking Verlander, Cole, Scherzer, the Kluber."
Corey Kluber, yeah.
Yeah, like literally fucking everyone. They were like, we think he's giving them goo. He did say, and like, so they fired him, and then he said, I was the scapegoat. So I'm going to bring down all of these people down with me, because it shouldn't just be me getting in trouble. He's literally the dude in class where the teacher's like, hey, stop talking. And they're like, well, they're talking too.
Yeah. They did the opposite. Like when the Astros got caught, everyone was like, well, everyone else is doing it, but they're not going to rat everybody out. He ratted everybody out.
Oh, yeah. And he ratted out specifically Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole sent him a text message that was like, hey, I'm having a bit of a traction issue, winky face. Think you can help me out? And he was like, I won't use it when we play you guys next, winky face.
Oh my god. So every good pitcher since 2010 has been using an illegal controlled substance. Not controlled substance. That's a drug. But like an illegal substance.
And what he said is every like franchise has their own like group of chemists out there that are trying to come up with different things, and that who's good is only dictated by who's got the best chemists. And
that's so funny.
And not to be like super like Nats oriented, but I did always believe that Max was better when he got sweatier. Like I thought that was
like you always did just say that.
Yeah, like he got
the
wetter.
The ingredient in the Nationals goo is Max Scherzer's bodily fluids.
Honestly, they just put that on the ball for the other pitchers.
Yeah. He like rubs it down on his head, his shitty bald head.
Yeah, everyone walks by, rubs the bald spot.
I love
get
Max
Logu on
Scherzer,
there.
by the way. I know I said his bald head was shitty, and it is. It looks rough, but like we love him here.
Oh yeah, he's great, and I believe a Democrat. So at least we have
Yeah. I
something
think
to
it's
hold
safe.
on to. Yeah. He's no Doolittle, but no one
Who
is in the
is?
Nats Stadium anymore.
So
But
long,
yeah,
soldier.
so pretty much he went to court and was like, other people should get in trouble with this other than me. And the court was like, hey, you're admitting to doing something against the rules in your organization and saying you were falsely fired because of it. And he was like, yes, sir. And they were like, get the fuck out of here.
Do you see how those things might?
Do you see how doing something wrong may get you fired at your place of work?
But to say, I only took a law class in my entire time in college. But if you go in and admit to what you're doing in a case against that, it doesn't bode well for you.
Oh, I have the actual text message that Garrett sent. Do you want me to read it?
I would love for you to read it. I really would.
Hey, Bubba, it's Garrett Cole. I was wondering if you could help me out with.
Sorry.
I was hoping you could help me out with this sticky situation. And then it says the pitcher wrote, adding a wink emoji. We don't see you until May, but we have some road games in April that are in cold weather places. The stuff I had last year seasons up when it gets cold.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and this dude apparently has been like in the league for 40 fucking years, and just been
brewing
like
up goo for years.
Literally, apparently, just giving it out to fucking pitchers left and right. But like, not
Is he
what's
turning a profit?
That's the thing that's baffling to me, because it seems that he says he never took money for it, but like other
Why
people,
would they give it to other teams then?
that's the part I don't
Because
understand.
either this guy is fucking awesome and just wants to watch the sport get much more complicated and competitive for no reason, which is kind of cool if that's what it is. Like, I kind of fuck with this.
Yeah,
Or he's lying, which seems the more likely answer.
because like the Angels could have used this.
Oh yeah, maybe Shotani wouldn't have needed fucking Tommy John if you gave him some goo.
That's the
Sorry,
reason his arm just gave out because he couldn't get any grip on the baseball.
Yeah, that's correct. It's like when you miss a stare. That happened to his arm.
It's so fucking funny that the idea that 2019 there could have been both juiced baseballs, the Astros listening to signs being hit with trash cans, and gooey, sticky baseballs.
It is just absolutely hysterical that there is now a second way in which Justin Verlander, confirmed whiny bitch about cheating, has been confirmed to be cheating.
Oh, for sure. Like, him and Cole, this looks terrible.
Yeah. Because, but I don't think, was Garrett Cole ever as whiny as Verlander was? I don't like Verlander.
No, my Cole never talked, and he just seemed to be upset always.
Yes.
Which was
He's a little
interesting.
Whereas Verlander would get out there with his surprisingly high voice and be like, I don't understand why the MLB is making this hard for me personally. I'm a good man who does things right, and they come into my home and attack me. And then his wife gets on Twitter and they're like, yes, he's right. I don't like that.
Oh, here are the pitchers that he named. He says he had evidence for. Verlander, Scherzer, Felix Hernandez, Corey Kluber, Adam Wainwright.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's no way guys on these teams weren't giving it to every other pitcher on their team.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, if Scherzer's got it, Strasburg and Corbin have it too. Period.
Oh, for sure. Here's my thing. I don't care.
No, I didn't really care about the Astros thing because I cared about the Astros thing in that it was a way for me to make fun of Astros fans.
Oh,
I don't suddenly think their World Series is totally illegitimate.
No.
No, fucking they were still good.
It does make it more fun that as a Nats fan we beat them. That does it makes it a bit more entertaining.
That's actually why I don't care. You caught me.
Yeah.
I think it makes it even cooler that we won.
Exactly. It makes every time Scherzer got a strikeout even more satisfying. Yeah, all 2 times. It was a rough series for him. But here's the thing. From what I understand, most batters in the batter's box want the pitcher to have a little bit more control about where the baseball is going, because it's less likely they'll get fucking clocked.
Because I do feel god awful when hitters get hit on accident. Because
Yeah.
like that sucks. Like if you did it on purpose, there's probably like a reason for it, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Like I think it's kind of fun because it's an issue and a problem, and I like other people's problems.
Yeah.
No, if you just like fuck up and hurt someone, it's like, oh, that sucks for everybody involved.
But this like super isn't steroids. You know what I mean? This is not.
No, this
This
is
is nothing.
no. This really doesn't bother me too much. It's like funny and like interesting, and it doesn't really bother me.
One of the things is like 2019 was like what the most home runs fucking ever by like a wide margin.
Yeah,
This
you're totally right.
obviously wasn't fucking getting into it that
If
bad.
anything, this just evened out the juice in the ball.
Yeah.
They just I was playing fair at that point.
Yeah, they picked up the ball and they're like, why is it gooey? We need to make it sticky and gooey.
Oh man.
Yeah, so if it
what?
if it comes out that like all these players like did do it, he's not fully lying. I don't give a shit.
No, yeah, it's funny. That's our final take. It's funny.
Yeah.
So in other sports news, I didn't actually prep you with this one. I'm just gonna bring it up because I don't think I'm gonna talk about it for long. My family, because I come from a long line of insufferable people.
Yeah.
My dad, my brother, my dad's dad, everyone are Duke basketball guys.
Okay. Wow. So
Duke basketball.
woke up and chose pain.
But my dad woke up and chose to just piss everybody else off in the world because he's a Red Sox fan too. Duke basketball's bad this year.
Really?
Duke basketball, I think they're like 8-8. It's something like that. They're like breaking even, and then normally just kick ass. And the thing happened. Duke freshman forward and projected lottery pick Jalen Johnson has opted out of the remainder of the 2020-2021 season because of coronavirus and declared for the NBA draft. And Duke fans' takes are, as you can imagine, towards an unpaid 19-year-old performing on a professional level. And like, I just wanted to say for the record, good for him. Get the fuck out of there, collect some money, and make Coach K look like a fucking dickhead. My favorite things in the world. Because like I kind of like want Duke to win sometimes just because like it's fun to root for the bad guy. But like also objectively, fuck that guy.
I want Duke, much like the Patriots and the Yankees, to always get close but never achieve. You know what I mean?
I totally get that.
Like it was like with the
totally
Dodgers. Like I was loving that decade where the Dodgers would just like play in the World Series every other year but never win. That was beautiful.
That was so much fun. And I love to be able to say this last one was illegitimate because it was only half a season. Yeah. It's so Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw that and like people's takes were just as you'd expect. The only good response to it I saw was, well, Coach K is now going to fake an injury so someone else can take over so he doesn't catch these losses. Which I thought was like funny. That's the only really good response. Everyone else that was like, I hate this teenager for valuing money over the good name of NCAA basketball that is tarnished by anyone wanting to, God forbid, make any money to be here. And like, I'll go ahead and say it. Professional athletes get paid more than a year's college tuition.
Like March Madness is one of the biggest events every year, and it brings
March Madness makes millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, I bet college basketball in total is in the billions of dollars of like just profit.
Oh, absolutely.
And these players don't even get rights to their jerseys.
That's what I was going to say next. Is like, I think there is an argument to be made, one that I definitely have an opinion on, but there is an understandable argument about paying them versus just paying them in tuition. The fact that he cannot go out and cut a deal with Nike on his own image as his own person, he can't say, yeah, Nike's going to give me $1 million to be in a Nike commercial, and this has nothing to do with the school at all. And then he can't do that is insane to me. That's ridiculous.
If they fucking make a video game with his likeness, he doesn't get a fucking cut.
No, yeah. And it's I've seen the argument that's like, if you're on a basketball team and you're not really good and the really good guy goes and gets a fucking Gatorade deal, aren't you going to be upset? I'm going to be like, no! I'm going to be like, oh my God, my teammate's got a Gatorade deal. You're buying dinner.
Also, yeah, you just explained my issue with capitalism. Welcome to the party, comrade. I'm also upset that my boss can afford to pay off a car.
Yeah, like, again, that he shouldn't be penalized because and it's wild the kind of people that say that are not the kind of people who usually care about other people being upset about other people's wealth. If you catch my drift.
These are not wealth inequality people.
These are similar circles, yeah. So yeah, I just felt it was important to say, Jalen Johnson, good for you for pissing off Duke fans.
That's beautiful.
All right, we're gonna do our final sports story and just cram all here in the middle, so anyone who doesn't care about sports can skip over this.
Yeah, totally.
Hockey is diversity issue.
I forgot about this one.
The Hockey News, the magazine, the Hockey News, officially sponsored by the National Hockey League, dropped their diversity issue for 2020. And who is on the cover, you might be asking? Is it any of like the new, really kind of interesting and fun black superstars in hockey? Is it Keandre Miller? Is it P.O. Joseph? It's not. You might ask, did they just kind of do the easy way out and put PK Subban on there, the one black hockey player that everyone knows? They did not. Did they put someone from the NWHL on there? No, sir. They put Zdeno Chara, a big white guy. Cover of the diversity.
What the fuck was their excuse? Are his parents divorced? Like, what was happening?
So, like, I don't want to, like, make this sound like I'm talking shit on Chara, because, like, Chara was on the Bruins for a this is a Capitals player now, so you know there's something happened to him to defend him. He was on the Bruins for a very long time, and, like, generally has good politics and opinions. He's one of those guys that was like, yeah, I will do, like, the pro-gay commercials for hockey. Like, he's a nice guy. He's a really good dude. That doesn't mean he should be on the cover of the diversity issue, man.
No, like, what the fuck?
I cannot fathom what was going through these people's heads when they made this decision. I get that, like, I don't know if this is where they're coming from. Maybe there's, like, some level of xenophobia in the world about, like, Eastern European people. But not in hockey, where they are the second most predominant grouping of people after fucking Canadians. Like, I don't know if that was their angle. I didn't read it. I didn't open it. I didn't look at it. I saw the cover and decided we had to discuss it.
Yep.
Oof.
Oh my god. Yeah, because I saw that and I was like, why?
Why would they do that? Like,
and it's nice if he's a big old Russian dude that's cool with gay marriage, because like there's some issues in Russia with LGBT rights, so
he's
always good to
Slovakian,
have
but yeah,
that.
same vibe.
Yeah. Here, let's really do a bad take. Same thing.
That's why he needs to be on the cover diversity issue, Josh.
It's not at all the same thing.
Yeah, it's just there's people of color in hockey, and it's kind of interesting this happened like right after I wrote a paper for class about how I think the Chicago Blackhawks are getting away with keeping their shitty racist name because hockey is so white, and hockey fans and hockey players are so white. The backlash just isn't there in the same magnitude that it is for sports like football and sports like baseball, where there are people of color involved in the process much more than there are in hockey. And then the NHL decides, let's put Chara as the face of diversity. Is it because he's a big guy and he can like fight off racists because he's 6'11" skates on? Is that what it is?
Yeah, they were like, here for the diversity issue, and you didn't check. That was the man that would be fighting all of the racists.
Yeah. Racist fighters in David
If you're racist, he will find you.
Oh, yeah. God. Bad opinion, bad choice. There are black people who play hockey that we could have maybe picked instead.
I honestly, like, if you can't think of one, just I'm just amazed.
There's a problem that a diversity issue of a magazine can't fix. Maybe. Yeah.
This might be systemic or something.
Oh my god. Yeah. And I'm looking at the cover right now, and who else is mentioned on it? Steven Stamkos, white guy. Morgan Riley, white guy. And on the side it says Kim Davis, what Black History Month means to the NHL. So I'm going to hope and pray to fucking God that's a black woman. Maybe don't make her like a sideline on the diversity issue. Oh my god.
It would be even worse if it's not a black woman.
I'm gonna Google Kim Davis right now and hope to God I get the one that they were talking about.
I think that might. I'm pretty sure it's a different Kim Davis, but isn't that the woman who was like, gay people can't get married?
Yes. Yes, it is. So I hope it's a different woman.
Otherwise, interesting career choice she went with.
Yeah. Holy shit. So yeah, that's our last sports news story. What else happened this week? Let's look at my little list. We can talk about. And in the heart of Texas. What's happening in Texas?
Oh, it's fucking cold as shit.
It's cold in Texas, and
liberals are being shitty about it.
And so everyone's surprised Ted Cruz doesn't care that it's cold in Texas. But yeah, liberals have been god awful. Do you remember not 2 months ago when we were all in our houses, like cheering on blue Texas for 2 hours?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to that? You remember all those blue people in Texas who almost flipped the most like notoriously Republican state of all fucking time? Remember that?
Like, if you want to make fun of Ted Cruz, by all means, he's almost never right about anything ever. Period.
No, he's the worst.
He has, like, in the past, when there have been like power outages in California due to heat, he's been like, ha ha, Democrats.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, he sure has.
This is a good time to point that out to him. And also, maybe put out some condolences to the people of Texas. Because
just have some sympathy for people who are freezing to death. Like, I know that's not a problem for you in whatever big fucking house you live in the city that still has power, because I mean, wealthy people don't have to face problems like that, I guess. But oh my god, I am going to read to you. This man, this is Tim Boyd. This is a Facebook post, I believe, from Mr. Tim Boyd. He is the mayor of Colorado City, Texas, and this is an excerpt from what he had to say to the people of Texas. If you don't have electricity, you step up and you come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water, you deal without and think outside the box to survive and supply water to your family. If you are sitting at home in the cold because you have no power, you are sitting there waiting for someone to come rescue you because you're lazy is a direct result of your raising. Pass away. You're next. Go with Rush, man. Oh my god.
What the? Wait, is this a dude in Texas?
This is the mayor of Colorado City, Texas. I don't know how big Colorado City is. I don't know anything else about Tim Boyd, mayor of Colorado City, Texas. But the end of this was, bottom line, don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Go out there and fucking invent a new power source to bring heat to your home, or else you're a lazy piece of welfare shit, I guess.
Okay,
is his point.
I know this is not at all the vibe we want to bring to this podcast, but I do have an article from 6 hours ago, which is Texas mayor resigns after telling residents he owed them nothing following storm power outage. So
is this the same guy? Is it Tim Boyd of Colorado City?
No one owes you or your family. Tim Boyd! We got him. We got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Breaking news. Oh, hell yeah. Good. Fucking good. What a piece of shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so good. In a second post, Mr. Boyd said he won't deny for 1 minute anything he said in the previous post, but complained that his wife had faced harassment.
Oh my god. Just how can, like, I know how, because I remember Katrina enough to know how. How can such a large group of people be without basic resources and you go, fuck you, you're lazy?
It's astounding.
Aren't prepared for this. Like,
no.
I would venture to say that there are definitely houses deep in Texas that probably don't have heating units, period, because they're just not used to fucking needing them.
Yeah, it's like they're
like when you go up north, people don't have air conditioning. Like, it's the same sort of thing. People in Maine don't have air conditioning. People in Texas don't have heat, especially if they're, I don't know, poor people. And the ones that Democrats tend to care about on the internet.
Out of curiosity, if you don't have water, what the fuck are you supposed to do, Boyd?
He wants you to go out in fucking freezing cold and eat the snow. And then you're going to come back to your house and get hypothermia and die, but Ted Cruz doesn't care about you.
Oh my god, I'm so happy Tim Boyd is gone.
And then there is this picture. I'll try and post most of the tweets we bring up, like, in the description below this, so I'm not just blatantly stealing from people. Where the Houston, like, the city is totally lit up, and then everywhere surrounding the city is dark. So it's like, I know this isn't how power works. I know they can't just go fix this in 20 seconds. But I think it's really cute and funny that, like, there's clearly enough power to go around, and it's just not being used, and people are just dying. Have you seen the Republicans think it's because all the windmills are frozen?
Yeah, they think that, like, it's green power that has failed them.
No, It's climate change. You
Well, yeah,
fucking dolt.
you wouldn't have to deal with this if our fucking planet wasn't fucking having a panic attack.
If you put those windmills there 20 years earlier, you would not be having them frozen.
Oh my god. It
Yeah.
just is very upsetting, and like I feel very bad for that area. And I have no idea when it's gonna get any better.
Me
But
neither,
like,
because it's snow forever here tomorrow in
yeah.
sunny Virginia. To the point where like I went to the store and bought milk like a fucking freak today. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, the people of Food Lion, that I went and like did the freak thing where I go and buy milk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am going to link the first thing I link in the description of this. There's like a tweet with like mutual aid links for Texas. If you got some money, give Texas some money, because fucking the government isn't. So
Yeah, seriously. Government's not helping them.
no, it is not. Let's get into something that's significantly more funny, I think. I don't watch The Mandalorian, Josh, so would you like to take the beginning of this one?
I would, because this is fucking astounding. So, The Mandalorian is a kick-ass show, and I had struggled with it a little bit because only one of the characters in it wasn't terrible. And one of the characters who I thought was neat when she first appeared on screen was Gina. I can't remember her last name.
Carano. Let me Google that so I can make sure we're saying that right at least. Carano, yeah.
Carano. Okay, Gina Carano, and she was in it. She acted like she wasn't great in the show, and I was just curious about her because I had seen her in Deadpool before. Hopped onto her Twitter and saw some things, some takes. At this point in time, it was mostly making fun of people for putting pronouns in their bios. It was saying that, like, making fun of mask wearers.
This is interesting because I'm glad you saw this. I had always seen people like claim that she was transphobic, but like didn't have the screenshots to back it up. So I like didn't deny that happened, but I was always like,
Yeah.
what was it that she did? Because when she was trending, you have to scroll up like 15 Pedro Pascal fan cams to like find anything that happened.
Seriously.
Which is fine and dandy. He deserves 15 fan cams, but like,
yeah, and we'll get into that.
He's so handsome. But yeah, go ahead.
And then not that long ago, she tweeted out that being a Republican is similar to being a Jew in 1930s Germany. Yes. She chose the Tim Allen approach, and about a day later, Disney fired her.
Yes, she has been removed from her television program.
She was in talks because she made $50,000 to $100,000 per episode she was on before. She was in talks for a $20 million deal for
like have her own show, right?
Yeah, spin-off TV show. And that got fucking ruined because she decided to be terrible.
Because she also wanted to feel oppressed on the internet so bad that she couldn't secure a $20 million bag. What a fucking moron.
I do want to stress that Pedro Pascal, the same day this came out, supported his trans sister in coming out, and then got signed for The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah, he got a huge HBO deal and was just openly in support of trans people, which is why we love him and why he deserves 15 fan cams.
Yes. Also, I want to point out, she found out she got fired through social media. Disney didn't call her.
She was on there looking through Parlor and found out, huh?
She was texting her January 6th friends. And they let her know.
Oh, man. Yeah, my personal favorite part of this, and maybe this is like unwoke, is that she has now a movie deal with Ben Shapiro.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this about Ben Shapiro. The reason Ben Shapiro is the little like grime we know him as now is because he attempted early in his career to like be like Republican sitcom funny. Like he wanted to like do screenplays and like make TV shows. And none of them got picked up because he sucked. And now he's gonna make movies. So just knowing that he started from like the reason he's where he is today, being the loud, nasally piece of shit he is on TV, or not on TV, on the internet, I don't think it's a TV show, is because he couldn't make good TV movie stories.
Did you know he did make a movie already?
Good gracious.
Do you want to know the plot?
I mean, I think I know the plot. Is it that Ben Shapiro is secretly oppressed for it?
No.
What is it? Oh man.
It's a school shooting movie where a woman.
Oh, that's not funny. Oh my god, that's not funny.
No, where a woman stops it with her gun, where she's the hero and kills the school shooter.
Realistic.
We got a good guy with a gun, and now now Gina, she's gonna be right in that role.
Name a teacher we had in high school who you want to have a gun in any serious situation. No, like I don't have one.
No,
Because like there are teachers I think could shoot a gun, and that is the exact same circle Venn diagram of teachers I don't want to have a gun that we went to high school with.
And there's also like, thanks Ben for all of us that have anywhere from very mild to extreme PTSD going to high school in the time that we did, because we thought maybe we were going to die today. And
there were several times where like I went home for the weekend when my brother was a senior, because I was like, there's a lot of shit on Twitter about how the world might end at his school today. My brother's senior year was there were rumors of flying at our high school about something like that maybe happening because of a certain person at that school, and we're all deeply traumatized. It's exactly what I think it is.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's the one who was briefly expelled for assaulting another student, and then they let him back into school for some reason. Yeah.
We also had a couple scares, like not to get too personal, where like a kid was seen with what turned out to be a BB gun near the elementary school.
Yeah, and we just, all of us can't do that anymore. As kids who were like, I remember having to go inside from recess when I was young because of the fucking DC sniper, and then we grew up in this climate. Maybe don't make like school shootings your political point. Like I'm begging you. It's really not to sound like a fucking triggered snowflake, but I am, and it's upsetting.
And it's also, these are the same people that would be like, oh, they're politicizing like the moment, and they're like politicizing such a tragedy. It's like, what the fuck do you think? Like, I also am not one of those people that are like, oh, you can't talk about this, or like that's kind of off bounds, but like, weird fucking choice, Ben.
It's, and like what's baffling to me about everything is that like, this is tangentially related. I don't know a Republican, and believe me, with just the circles my family runs in, I know some fucking Republicans who doesn't. I do not know one who isn't like, yeah, guns should be harder to get, like at the very least. Every single Republican I know in real life is like, yeah, it's really scary how easily people can get a hold of guns because it leads to kids dying. And like their solutions to these things are obviously kind of off base and not what I would do. But every fucking person who isn't nuts is like, yeah, I don't think anyone should be able to go get that. It's insane.
This is him being like, this is how we fix it. This high school girl is going to bring a gun to school, but she's the hero. I'm going to stop the other person who brought a gun to school. I don't know if that's the exact plot, but I do know it is a girl who stops a school shooting.
Do you know,
girl power.
You've seen, I won't disclose any information you don't disclose. The guy who comes to our place of business where we both have worked, who does not like concealed carry, like he just has it out, like on his hip sometimes. Does it just fucking drop a hole in you every time he's in there?
Yeah, every
we're
time.
Fucking traumatized.
Yep, I get legitimately nervous every single time.
Every single time. Yep.
I got freaked out when the resource officer would walk around in our school.
Yeah, because it just was like, why?
Yeah.
Why is he here? Like, is something happening, or is he just bored?
And this is not a show where we give groundbreaking ideas to stop things. But maybe don't give some people guns.
Just do bare minimum. Just do something. Like
anything.
I'm really at the point now where it's like, even if it's not exactly what I want, like I'll take something, which is not how I tend to be about issues.
At this point, if Joseph Biden just walked out on the street and like grabbed 2 AK-47s and threw them in the dumpster, I'd be like, listen, I know it's progress. By 4,000, he will have gotten them all.
But yeah, Ben Shapiro, I hope their movie doesn't have anything to do with that, and it's just laughably stupid, and we can talk about our other podcast.
Also, I did see that everyone was like, oh, they're going to recast. Lucasfilm says they're going to recast. And then everyone had to be like, actually, Lucasfilm said the opposite. My bad. Like 3 different Twitter accounts did that. So they're not recasting her. She's fucking yeeted.
I did read a just absolutely frankly hysterical, like, Republican rage article about this, which, like, I don't like to do that because usually they piss me off on some level, but this one's so bad that it's funny. This Barry Weiss had some takes, and among them are,
Wait, I know that name.
oh, she's terrible. She's just always trending on Twitter for being a fucking nut and, like,
Yes.
sucks. She used to work for, I believe, Wall Street Journal and then for the New York Times, and they got rid of her because she sucks.
Wait, what was the name again?
Barry Weiss, Bari. Yeah.
I know why I knew it.
Why? Why was that, Jesse?
It's the dude from Storage Wars.
Not him!
But it's the same name.
Is it really? No, it's not him. It's not him.
Yeah, if it's Barry, it's Barry Weiss.
He did not write this Republican outrage article. I don't want to slander his good name. I don't know anything about that man.
No.
But in this article, she just drags everyone through the shit. Bon Appetit, the YouTube channel magazine that, like, they were like, everything, people were like, hey, it's kind of racist here, and it's like, oh, they're never doing enough. Pedro Pascal is just as bad because he compared the kids in cages at the border to the Holocaust, and, like, listen, I don't think you should compare anything to the Holocaust. I think it's kind of like one of those things that's like slavery where you just don't, like, liken it to other things. Like, leave it alone, it is what it is. But I will say it's a much closer comparison. He's a little bit more on base with it. I'm not sure I would have tweeted it either, but it's a little bit more on base with that one. Yeah, just this whole my favorite thing about this article, why I bring it up, is because at the very end of it, let me get to where it is. Why did she get canceled and not like these other people? And among those people, she lists Mel Gibson, which was odd. And that Mel Gibson is one of the very, very few examples I could think of, and if you asked me, of where cancel culture did for a period of time actually work. Like, he did. Like, like, no one would cast him in anything for like 10 years because he sucked. And they're like, why does Mel Gibson get to be in movies now? And we're going to cancel her. It's like, first of all, this just happened. What's going to happen is in about 6 months, she's going to be in some shitty Fast and the Furious knockoff movie or something of that nature. And she's just going to be in movies. And, like, it's not going to be a big redemption arc. It's not going to be a big deal. She'll just have small parts in movies like she's been having. She just won't be with anything that's got, like, a massive fan base because they know about the backlash. Like, anything that's like a stupid movie for your dad, she'll be in. You'll see her again. I promise you.
Oh, just real quick, what do you think Ben Shapiro would name his Fast and the Furious knockoff? I think it'd be Fascists in the Future.
Yeah, it does sound about right for him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, and I just have to say, yes, Ben Shapiro is a fascist. Yes, he is also a Jewish person. Those two are not mutually exclusive. Fascist does not mean you hate Jewish people.
Mm. Yeah.
However, it is a pretty close Venn diagram.
Yeah. This article's great. She just drags anybody who's ever, like, said anything, like, vaguely anti-Semitic on Twitter, like, regardless of whether or not they apologize for it, did it unintentionally or whatever, that was like, why did these people, these liberal celebrities not get canceled? Because she brings up Jessica Chastain and, like, John Cusack, who are all, like, openly leftist and, like, did a little bit of a goof.
Yeah.
It's not because they're leftist, it's because they have some remorse for their actions. And also it's not a constant pattern of tweeting just ignorant shit out of your ass all day.
Speaking of tweeting ignorant shit out of your ass all day, we do just need to do a deep dive one day on Tim Allen's tweets throughout history. I want to do a deep dive on Tim Allen. You think he was arrested? Like, before he got big? Yeah. And then he ratted out all of his friends.
Did he really?
Yeah. Like, he ratted out all of his friends so he didn't get convicted of anything.
I knew he was arrested for cocaine. I didn't know it was that.
Yeah. Because he was arrested for a mountain of cocaine.
I knew it was tons and tons of cocaine. I never really did put together that he should still be in prison for that if he had gotten, like, charged with it.
I'm pretty sure it was some shit that was like 50 years in prison, and then he, like, ratted out all of the people with him, so then he didn't get anything.
Oh my god, what a piece! And he's totally the kind of guy who's against immigration because of drugs, right? Like, it's Tim Allen.
Oh, I bet. And
he was just a big mega coke deal. Of course, nothing's ever surprising.
The thing that cracks me up the most is I know this because of the Screen Junkies brought it up, but they were talking about Santa Claus, and in it he gets like interrogated by the police and he's real cocky about it, and like he's like making jokes at the police officers.
Oh my god.
And he's like, I won't squeal, and they're like, yeah, you will, Tim.
Yeah, you will. You sure will, Tim. Oh my god. Oh, Tim Allen.
Let's ask your friends whether or not you'll squeal.
I've got two things left on our list of things that happened this week.
Lay them on me.
Joe Biden's student loan thing. Oh, Joe. I'm gonna fucking lose it, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible. They're trying to categorize and break shit down and go back and change it so you can spend less money out of the debt deficit that doesn't fucking affect me at all, that I don't care about. Let me make it perfectly clear. If there's one thing this podcast does not care about, it's the debt deficit. I don't care, and you can quote me.
You know what? It makes absolutely
I care about my debt first.
It makes absolutely no goddamn sense that it was drilled into our heads that we will go forever into debt trying to buy a house and getting a decent job, and then people go, well, our nation's gonna be in debt. It's like, bitch, me too. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
We're all in debt. I want the country to be in debt fucking with me then. Like,
I'm like,
it's baffling.
I'm like Bubba. Bring him down with me.
And like every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, I have to watch fucking $30, $40 come out of my paycheck into Social Security I'll never see. And I don't go online and complain about it because I care about other people. Do I think it's kind of horseshit? A little bit. But I don't go on the internet and lose my mind about it because I care about other people. Now, Joseph, run me my stimulus check and my tuition check.
Dude, we're college students. We ain't getting any of that stimmy.
I hate that we don't get any stimulus. It's fucking ridiculous.
It is, especially because I have so many fucking friends that should be independents and aren't because of like random like healthcare or tax reasons.
Random healthcare tax shit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rat them out, IRS.
Yeah. They should get their money.
Yeah, they should.
And I've seen the thing floating around, it's like, he'll just remove all the interest. And that like is great for people who have the money and have a steady enough job to have been paying back their loans. It's just not making a dent in it because of the interest.
Yeah.
That requires you to have any money to pay back, Joseph. That's the problem, is that some people are poor. Is that some people don't have lots and lots of money. That's the whole problem. Believe it or not, that's just the problem.
At this point, like, I will fucking take, like, if you pop off $10,000 off of everyone's student loans, like,
just get
the ball moving, because then later we can have a conversation.
Just start doing something, and if we need more later, we'll do more later. But like, and like I don't want to forgive loans for people who went to elite schools. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
People who went to elite school, it doesn't mean they came out of that school and immediately got elite jobs. Like, people go to elite schools and study shit that just isn't really great for the job market or whatever, which is fine if people do what they're interested in. But like,
and there's also the issue of like,
yeah.
Because you could go with the idea of like, oh, well, maybe he's just trying not to help the people that have already got like rich parents to take care of it. Well, the rich parents already paid for it, so this just
if you are that exorbitantly wealthy, no one took out a loan in the first place.
Seriously.
Yeah, this is one of those things that it all comes back to like the Reagan-y welfare mindset of I don't want anybody, God forbid, who doesn't need this to have this. Yeah. If 10, 20, 50% of people who get their loans forgiven really probably could have paid it off on their own. Like, they could have done it. I don't care, because that means 90, 80, 50% of people who couldn't now get help. That's okay to me.
And also, like, what's the worst that happens? Some people have $10,000 more to spend in their life in the economy. What's the negative? Who's hurting? It's just putting more money into like the economy is good as long as you don't do it at a rate that is unsustainable. Like, that's economics kind of 101. Is it when people have money, economy is good. Communism. You see the TikTok? Monkey have one banana. Monkey love banana. Monkey does not get rid of banana. Monkey has 100,000 banana. Monkey doesn't care about banana. The economy. What's the fucking Socialism is when the government does stuff. Communism is when the government does a lot of stuff. I love that fucking video. It's so bad.
it's if you're gonna don't make that a key part of why I bit the bullet and drove my ass home to vote for you, and then
Yeah.
not like because I didn't think Joe Biden was going to be like a good president at all. But if you did
No.
explicitly say that something was in your plans, I do expect to see it. I do expect to see it.
Well, this is the thing. We picked
Or
Joe
else
Biden.
you will expect me outside of your home with a big sign screaming and yelling. Joe.
We didn't pick him because we were like, this is our dude. This is the
Yeah, no.
guy. We picked him because we could bully him more than the other dude. Like,
Yeah. We picked it because like we were hoping there would be less just immediate oppression of marginalized groups.
I love him. This is the same thing with the fucking stimulus debate, like where they're like, we do 2,000 or 1,400. It's like, how about you give me the 1,400 right now, and then you two
How
fucking
about you
hammer
do
out
it
the
now?
details.
How about you do it now? And if you want to give me another 600 a month, that's great. But in a month,
Seriously.
I'm gonna need 600 plus another 2,000. Thank you. Goodbye. And it's baffling how many of these Congress people very clearly paid off their mortgage in cash as soon as they bought the house.
Seriously.
I'm gonna say that. They don't have a house payment anymore, these guys, because they clearly don't remember how much it costs per month past the year 1983 to own or rent property. It's $2,000 a month in many cases. In probably in the area where Congress people live, in Northern Virginia, Maryland, in the District of Columbia, it's easily $2,000 a month to live anywhere.
Seriously, like fucking minimum.
As people who are shopping for places to live in the Northern Virginia area, that's the bar. That's pretty much on the floor.
Well, it's a fucking joke. The bank said I can't afford the $800 mortgage, so I have to get the $2,000 apartment.
Yeah, that's correct. Like literally.
I'm not
Joe
vibing.
Biden. No, Joe Biden needs to run me my check. Joe Biden needs to run me 2 checks, frankly, at this point.
Honestly, 2 checks, and then we'll see. After that, he's on thin ice.
Yeah, we're still not happy. All right, let's end with fucking the one thing that might bring some joy into my day. Let's bully Bill Gates, man. Let's tear in William Gates, who had the fucking audacity to write a book. Bill Gates is Microsoft, in case you're not familiar. Bill Gates worth $98 billion. That's Bill, like Bill Gates, $1 billion. Wrote a book called How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. Bill, I know how. Bill, I know how, and it involves robbing you for every cent you're worth.
We tax your ass until you make $100,000 a year.
Yeah, that's correct. I cannot believe, and I do want to point out, Bill Gates of the internet and Microsoft fame, has replies turned off on like all of his tweets.
Which is a good choice by him.
Which is a good choice because I would be just tearing into. It just means that everything's got 4 billion quote tweets.
I would love to see what the numbers are on the amount of people that have taken screenshots and responded to it. Like, yeah, it's gotta be outlandish.
Well, right now, just like not even the announcement tweet, the like books available tweet. So not the first one about it, the later one has close to 400 quote tweets.
Oh my God.
None of which I've seen are positive.
Well, people aren't a fan. People aren't a fan of what he's got to say.
People aren't a fan of who was for a very long period of time the wealthiest man in the world, who branded himself on being the good billionaire, telling me that I can bring a reusable grocery bag to the store and shower.
Shit he says.
I didn't read fucking his book. But if he's building a book that's for the general public on like what we can do individually, what's it gonna say? Vote.
Honestly.
Use less plastic. Dismantle the fossil fuel industry, Bill.
Remember your reusable straws.
Oh my God. There's nothing else it could be. Because unless in the book he calls for his own demise, like, there's nothing in this book that's helpful.
That would be a bold choice if he's like, in this book, I have included $4 million in each book.
The key to my garage.
Oh my fucking god.
I cannot believe the audacity.
Bill. Bill.
And like the subtitle of this book is let me look, the solutions we have and the breakthroughs we need. So I think now I'm looking at that, it's probably like a science book on like how can we invent things. We've already invented all the things we need. We've got them. The issue is that they cost lots of money and will put people out of work. And those two things can be solved by both of those things at the same time, caring more about people than you do the economy. If there's one theme for the past 18 months, it's that maybe we should care about people more than the economy.
That's honestly the entire theme of this episode. Just maybe just give a shit. Like, I don't know. Hear me out. Maybe people are people.
Maybe people are important, more important than money. God, just, like, absolutely. If I take out the fossil fuel industry with my bare hands, people are going to be out of a job, and they should be able to get the help they need until they can find somewhere else to work, or even if they don't find work because they're older people and it's all they've ever done for the rest of their lives. Like, okay, you're fucking retired now, man. Here's your check. Like, have a good life.
Congrats.
Yeah, like
here's the social security I won't get.
Yeah, here's my social security. Go park it. Like, it's just because I know it's scary. Like, oh my god, all these people will lose their jobs though, and like, I'm not going to be stupid and sit here and say, well, they can get jobs in the new stuff. Like, no, those will require engineering degrees, and you're a 50, 60-year-old man. You're not going to get an engineering degree, nor would I expect you to. But like, just, we don't have to like let people die because their jobs are gone, like, ever, for anything.
Seriously, that's the entire issue with like the fucking system we have built, which is jobs are the most important thing, because without jobs, people fucking die.
Yeah,
and
we don't respect you if you don't have one.
Yeah, even if you do, you still might not be respected.
Yeah, it's not, I don't know how to word this. The jobs that these people could get, because there's a lot of people that age who have jobs and get paid a decent amount of money for, this isn't just about fossil fuels, by the way, this is about most things you can think of. People who are a little older, people in their 40s and 50s, have jobs that we could also go and get for a third the pay rate they get. And these people don't want to lose their jobs because they cannot get paid that much anywhere else ever again to do the same thing.
Yep.
There are people who have entry-level jobs and 401ks and pensions and retirement funds and don't just make $11 an hour and are technically counted as part-time, despite the fact that they work 39 and a half hours a week, so that we do not have to give them health insurance. That's us.
It's
scary.
not
why people don't want to lose their job. No, it's bad.
It's very bad. I'm not a fan.
No, and it sucks on every level, because A, you have people that are so scared of losing their jobs that they will never do anything to hurt anything at their job. Like, God, I don't know how personal I want to get in this. Let's say, hypothetically, you work somewhere doing a very straightforward job that you get paid like $50,000, $60,000 a year to do, and then your job actually almost kills your eldest child, and you don't sue them because, God forbid, you might lose your job. I'm just saying, hypothetically, that might have happened to someone.
Yeah, it's definitely happened to someone. Law of large numbers. Like, happened to...
Like, your place of employment, continually misdiagnosed 9-year-old with a pregnancy at one point. It could have happened. You might be too scared to sue that company because you're scared to lose your job. That's a fucked up world we live in.
It might have. All right, we can't stick with the hypotheticals. That did happen to me. Yes, they did believe I was pregnant. They did. My dad almost lost his Target job. It was rough. The CVS Minute Clinic.
So yeah, Bill Gates, go fuck yourself. If you want to stop climate change so bad, go ahead. You can. You individually can do it. And that's honestly exaggeration by any stretch of the word to say that Bill Gates, on his own, of his own volition, and entirely independently, could reverse climate change.
Well, because like, haven't they crunched those numbers before? Like, haven't they checked to see?
When I saw that, like, Google how much it would be to put solar panels on just every fucking house building in America,
Yeah.
I think he could pull it off because he's worth. If it was one for every single person in America, which is not how many you need because people don't live alone and people live in apartment buildings with 80 of them.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I think $2 trillion was by my estimate, and he's worth $98 billion. So I'm thinking he could probably pull it off. If him and Elon work together, they could definitely pull it off. And also, that's not even like the solution. Like, that's just a harebrained thing that I was like, could he do that? Like, hypothetically? And the answer is probably.
It's just a thing you want to happen.
That's the thing I thought would be neat if he could do. I just wanted to use it as like a stat, like to throw out and to be like, he could if he wanted to do this.
Yeah.
He can't. But boy, oh boy, could he get the ball rolling. You know what he could do? Is buy the solar panel industry and start making them for free.
Yeah, he definitely could be doing that.
That he could absolutely do.
But where's the profit?
Oh, that's right, you have to turn a profit. Oh my god, I forgot we can't just do things for the good of others.
No, fuck you. What are you, a socialist?
Yeah. I'm a big commie bastard and Bill clearly is not.
Yeah, that part is accurate. Bill clearly is not a big commie bastard. That is our big issue with him.
Bill, you fix it. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying the book, you do it. That's my thing.
Bill, I'm tired.
Bill, I make $11 to the hour. And you make $11 every time I speak a word.
It's funny that you think it's that little.
It's not that little. It's so much more. It's astronomical.
He makes dumb money.
So why don't you and Jeff and Elon get together? And I know Elon Musk wants to be a superhero. This is only kind of tangentially related.
God,
know he wants to save the world. You know he would just love to have that notch his belt. Then do it, you fucking moron. Quit building rockets that blow up.
Fucking coward. Stop
Oh
talking about this fucking train you want to build.
I forgot about Elon's train.
There's a really good, like, everyone just YouTube the fucking why his train idea is dumb as shit. Fucking Hyperloop.
Alright. You got anything else you want to talk about for this week?
I'm good. We've covered a lot of shit.
We did. We went over just what I saw trending on Twitter this week. And things that maybe weren't trending on Twitter, but like were funny in sports and bad.
Yeah, so I have no idea how often we are gonna ever do this. But it was fun.
Yeah, this is like an ideally weekly, probably not though thing, I would say.
Yeah. Like I don't know. If a couple people watch this, we'll do this like a bit more regularly than the other thing. But like it's nice to just shoot this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is just like talk. Like I just wanted to like do a commentary thing because like it's fun to see things happen and like have takes on it. And like I like to watch this kind of shit too, where I'm like, yeah, he agrees with me. I'm smart and cool. You know?
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah. So this is this podcast where we just talk about what happened.
And it's
if you see a thing that happens and you want to send it to us, do that. We'll talk about it. Fuck, I don't care.
Fuck it, yeah. Whatever you guys want us to talk about, we'll fucking if it happened, that's the rule. It just has to have happened.
If shit happens, whoa! This is we're not supposed to do breaking news. This is the whole point. So
okay.
On Twitter right now, 3D printed steaks are now on the menu. We've got to get into that next because you're so excited for lab meat. Next week,
I'm so excited.
We promise you lab meat. Next week, lab meat. Like, comment, subscribe for lab meat.
Yes! I'm gonna like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, this is the best news I've ever had. This is so fucking good. All right, bye.
We'll see you next week. See you later. Thank you.